Yes! Misa is alive! But we have Naki dead now. Trey back? Damn it! I should have went with my first guess, and that was Mizuki being the one that threw that knife. Instead, I went with Suzuya because I thought the possibility of Suzuya was higher. Turns out I was wrong, but it's for the best. Chapter 92 is an interesting setup chapter that has Mizuki now going in the battlefield, but at the same time it gives you that bit of a bad feeling because we don't know where exactly the mindset of Mizuki is at right now, especially the way how this art describes her and the emphasis on these panels of the way how she's addressed the scenario that's going on. We also have the two other settings that seems to be a bad predicament, mainly for Corona has to go against so many experiments of Kanu, as well as surprise because that person not dead, but then we have a trade-off in the next chapter that's going to be very eventful. I know this chapter went by pretty quick, however the art really forgives everything about it because it has a strong emphasis on each panel, each scene that gives you the idea if there's something that we have to be aware, and I'm already feeling pretty afraid what's going to happen in three settings. There are three scenarios that's happening right now at the exact same time. The art really has a really good description of some of the characters that gives you perhaps the right idea, something that's not going in the right way, mainly with the Mizuki scenario. With the other two cases, one has a really scary situation of being attacked by multiple men with enhancement of the Q experiment, and then we have this cliffhanger that really works well with the whole entire scene because something that we want to see a good moment, a happy moment, only to see something that is going to the dark direction that we are afraid to see something going to happen with some of these characters. So with the Mizuki, this is a good call to have Mizuki be in the front and center. I really like the fact it is her rather than Suzuya. Nothing wrong with Suzuya, but I really want to know the position that Mizuki is in, and the way how the art describes really makes you wonder if she's in the right place. We don't know if she's really acknowledging that she is that psychotic. The way how she addresses the scenes with Double A, Ghoul, and the Floppy, and the way how the art has emphasis on these panels gives you the idea that it's something tells you that Mizuki might be excited to see there's so many enemies for her to. What makes it very evident is when she takes out her Kagane. The Kagane actually cut Akira's face a bit, so it gives you that sense that she's even craving for some kills or there's something that's going out of her mind. This is one way how to utilize the panels, utilize the emphasis in this chapter to show how Mizuki may be very dangerous. Hopefully the Q squad get in there in time and settle the things down. I hope they don't come to the conclusion to kill her off. I don't think that should be the case. Going to be very interesting to see how the reaction. Basically now we have Mizuki and Takizawa going against each other as they wait for Q squad. What I like also with the Corona going against Kanu experiments, Corona is actually pretty smart in the battlefield and knows how to take the enemies down, which is something I have to give her a praise. A lot of people like to just rely on their Kagane and all the other enhancements they got. The way how she tricks the guy, it was a smart way. Unfortunately, Kanu is still sadistic as ever, up to the point he said, you know what, instead of one by one, how about everybody in this experiment hall go against you right now? Let's see if they could answer your question. That is sadistic. It started to make me feel sorry for Corona. I don't know how Ishida does it, but he just does it in the right way. It makes you wonder if she's going to survive or she's actually going to defeat all of them, but she will be barely standing. Kanu looks so confident as ever, so calm as ever. You just want him to get killed by the worst possible way. At least that's what I want. Then we have a new setting that we're going to explore. Misa is alive, and it's a great thing that they kept her alive because I felt like exploring the extended lore of the series makes it very compelling, yet at the same time, if she were to die there, it would just feel like a waste. I thought Ishida just got done with her and then it would be the end, but the way how she got executed with that backstory doesn't gel together to say he's done with the character. Sometimes you can tell which character are going to be done if Ishida doesn't really put in a lot of emphasis on the death, even though you have to wait a longer time. With that said, I do believe Eto isn't dead, but you never know because you gotta wait for a further time. This is the case of you have to wait longer instead of jumping to conclusion to get your answer, to get your verdict, to get more of the emphasis on the sadness of this death, Misa is not dead. Instead, Naki, who has always shown a great characteristic of his, of protecting his friend, saving his friends, and in this case, he was there for Misa. And the whole war scene, it shows you that so many people are dying, so many people are dead. Nobody wins. Really makes a sad feeling of seeing Misa believing that Naki is dead. I don't think he's dead, but man, it still makes me gives him a huge credit for protecting her. And I guess you could say, hey, Perrin is alive. My calendar is not telling me a lie. Woohoo! Seriously, with the whole scene between Misa and Naki, it's really sad. And then with this cliffhanger, came in the right time to make this very fearful chapter. This chapter is all about being afraid of what's going to happen next, because so many characters are going through a lot of changes and a lot of predicament. We have Mizuki, perhaps not to be trusted right now because something about her is very scary. Then we have Corona about to fight a bunch of men. It's pretty much gonna push her to the limit, and we don't know if she can really survive this, or she could be really at her prime after this whole thing is done. Then we have the whole shadowy figure who could be a CCG or a member of Ogiri. It feels like it might be a CCG. I don't know exactly if Misa is willing to fight back. She's not really in the perfect strength. She just got back. It's really scary to see how this all going to play. Overall, this chapter was more of a setup, but I really enjoyed the hype scenario of wondering what these characters has gone to or where they're going to go next, as they're about to go into the next step of something that could lead to something that could meet their own end. Things are really getting interesting, and we're about to hit the climax very soon. Chapter 92 gets a 8. Behind that shadowy figure, it might be Cordy, because we haven't seen him in a long time, and I don't even know what happened to him. I thought he would go to the battlefield with Takizawa, but I guess it might be a different scenario. It could be anyone else. I got it wrong the last time. Maybe I could be wrong here, but it is a good guess since we haven't seen that guy in a while. I just hope nobody gets killed in this scene, because come on, man, let's just keep it clean and peaceful, right? My thoughts are told. Don't let yours on hold. Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.